Alrighty, so before we start, I want everybody who's here today, before we go ahead, and just unmute yourself, give me your name, what you do, and then we'll go ahead and start. Charles, you're first on my screen, so we go ahead and start.
Hi, my name is Chuck Wright, and I'm a graphic designer.
Well, thanks.
My name is Kish Shaven Robinson, and I am a project manager.
Awesome. Matt, you're next.
Matt Brzee, I manage patient access for Miami Valley Hospital.
And then Marilyn?
Yeah, Marilyn Kindig. I'm an OB-GYN teaching medical students.
Very cool. Thank you. And for virtual listeners out there, warm welcome to all of you as well. So this is just the introduction screen. You should see everybody's video is working. Make sure your microphone, you know how to locate that for on and off, unmute and mute. You can change the view of the people in the right corner of your screen, and you should see your name in the bottom left-hand corner. And just as a reminder, remove any distractions, turning your phone off, put it in the other room. I have mine as a timer next to me so that I can time this presentation to keep us all moving on our lovely Saturday morning. Shut the door where you're learning, put a do not disturb sign on, or let others know that you're learning, and put any other distractions aside so that we can truly learn collaboratively. So quality check, help me out with this. Make sure that the red record symbol is in the upper left corner of your screen. Make sure that you do indeed see this sign. Make sure that you can hear me okay. I am using a microphone, so just make sure that you can understand me. And then if all of these things are true, please give me a thumbs up in the chat using the emoji button so that I know that we are ready to begin. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Thank you, thank you. All right, so today's learning objective is that by the end of this presentation, you are going to understand the community of inquiry framework and how to incorporate it. And once again, I left it broad at the end and just said it's because obviously, as we learned in our introductions, every single one of you do something different. This presentation is kind of geared towards teaching because I will use it in my professional development, but I also wanted all of you guys to feel like you could get something out of it as well. So that's why our learning objective is kind of broad so that it fits each one of you guys individually, because I think that that's important and I don't want to waste anybody's time. So first up with our annotation tools, I have made a little graph of just kind of educational leaders. What I want you to do is using your annotation tools, you click options at the top and then annotate, and then using the stamp tool, stamp on the line any name that you have put on. And I actually put an option because I didn't know who was going to join us today, virtual listeners included. And so I wanted to put like, I don't know any of these people option just in case. So go ahead and stamp anybody that you've heard of. These are like the big names in education. Okay. Okay. Dewey, I'm not surprised that more people have heard of him over the other ones. Kind of happy nobody had to use the sorry who option, so that's good, being an educator myself. Oh, just kidding. I spoke too soon. Of course, I know. Well, that's why I put that option, because I knew you or my sister would join, and my sister would be like, I have no idea who any of these people are. So to bring us on, I'm going to go ahead and clear our screen for us. Awesome. All right. So where are we going with this? Why do I have you do that? So this rest of this presentation is going to help you understand the community of inquiry and why you should incorporate it. And all of those educators kind of brought us to where we are today. So without each one of those people giving us their ideas and giving us our thoughts, we would not be able to progress in education like we have been and are still continuing to do. And so they're kind of like the backbone of support to where we're going to end up going with this. So the first thing that you always should do when looking at a class is looking at the structure. You want to make sure that you have a common interest of the class, a similar focus, so that everybody in the class is on the same page, going to learn about the same thing and everybody is interested in that same topic. You want to make sure that your learners are challenged in your course and having critical discourse as well as thinking critically in and outside the classroom with their classmates and with you as the leader in whatever course that you are teaching or whatever you are working with your people in your life where you might have to shape up a team or work together to solve a problem. This comes with learning at a deep level. And in order to learn at a deep level, you also have to understand that you have to assess at that same deep level. I see this a ton in my teaching because I'm with the little ones, where all of our learning is very deep level. We have them think and we have them talk. And then the test at the end of the week is still just a multiple choice rote memorization test. Hey, what's this definition? Hey, what is this? Even though all of our learning was deep and meaningful, we're not assessing at that same level. And we're not going to achieve that sort of deep understanding that we want without making that change. So I put up a poll question and I have it up as well for my virtual listeners so that they can see it. But I'm actually going to open up the poll for you guys to answer. Which are examples of a deep level of learning? So I'm going to go ahead and launch this. Go ahead and choose any of the options that you think show an example of that deep level of learning of what we want to achieve. Wow, 2 people just answered at the same time. All right, it looks like I have everybody and you guys did fabulously. I'm going to go ahead and share your results. So you were correct. Memorization is that surface level. We don't want that. We do want relating new and previous information. So if the student can take whatever that they have learned new and connect it to their previous knowledge, that is what that deep learning looks like. Aiming to pass, I am very guilty of doing this before this class that I am in now. I would just aim to pass the course. I didn't actually learn anything. It was not good for my actual learning. That's probably why I feel like I am just now getting into the root of teaching. The goal should be to learn for life, and you should be wanting to create meaning, understanding, and new ideas. Very good. So if you were virtual, you should just check those answers along with what I had just announced for the answers to be and see how close you were. So how do we achieve these things? We know what we want to do, but how do we actually get there? So in order to achieve these things, you have to have these interdependent elements of the cognitive, social, and teaching presence in order to create that perfect learning experience for your students, if you're a teacher, or for your coworkers, if you are a leader in management as well. These are still presences that you're going to have in order to create that learning environment that will then create that deep learning. So this starts with the cognitive presence. This presence is made up of the practical inquiry model, which kind of is what we're doing now. So going through a triggering phase, getting all of your people introduced to your ideas, going through the exploration phase, giving them that information, going on to integration. How are they actually going to take it and use that old information and mix it with that new information? And then finally going on to your resolution and your ending with the presentation. By a show of hands, has anybody up to now had any of this model presented in a class before? You can either give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, hand raise. Anybody has taken a course in your life that has actually truly done the triggering effect where they get an icebreaker in there, they have the information, they make you apply it, and then they wrap it up. Oh, good, Shay. I don't know if you're talking about this class now or before, but if it's before, that's awesome. Because I definitely have not.
I didn't realize that's what was happening until I got into this class.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing. Because like I said, I was definitely the opposite. I did not have anything anywhere close to this. So awesome. That's good. And then the next one is going to be your social presence. So this is all dependent on having a group focus, allowing an open and free setting for discourse. So this is why that common focus is going to be important, because you all want to be on the same page. You don't want anybody to feel like they can't speak up in the class. You want to have a free setting for agreements, disagreements, and all of the like. Teaching presence is the last one. So all about the leadership given in the group to help with the design, facilitation, and the discourse in the class, making sure that the class is on its right course. So for our breakout room case study, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. I will be assigning your breakout room for you. I did choose to do the Jamboard link. So I wanted to quickly go over what that's going to look like for you guys. And I made it a little trickier for you guys because I'm going to make you navigate the Jamboard page. So I'm going to go ahead and actually stop sharing the screen so that I can show you what the Jamboard is going to look like. And then I'll share it for you. So just a brief rundown. So this is page 1 of the 5 that I have. And you can tell by looking up here, the 1 out of 5 pages. And if you want to go on, which you guys are all going to have to do because I made you guys group 3 on purpose, so that you had to navigate to page 3. So you're going to have to click the pages. If you get to the end of the 5 and you keep clicking, you're going to keep adding pages onto the end. So just as a reminder not to do that because my students do that and I end up with, you can have like 50 pages open at once, I think. And then the work is all over the place. So as a reminder to stay on the page that you are working on, over here, you're going to have your tools. So this one's just like the laser that I'm using now to show you guys. But if you do anything like that or the drawing tool, you do have to click back to the mouse in order to mouse things around or to drag your sticky notes or to move these text boxes. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of some of the tools in Jamboard. The sticky note option is this one here, and then you click on a sticky note and you type on it, and then it will pop up automatically, and then you can move it around. So just as, because I know that Jamboard was kind of my thing, and so I wanted to make sure that you guys knew how to operate it. So I'm going to go ahead and send you to a breakout room. I will send the Jamboard link in the chat right now, and I want everybody to make sure that you get onto page 3 of that Jamboard so that I know that we are all good to go. I'm going to go ahead and I have to stop sharing to get the link. I had to exit out of it. All righty. Does anyone have questions before I release you to the breakout room to make sure? Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open the breakout room. I did set a timer, probably 2 minutes because I'm running low on time now instead of 3. I said 3 on my PowerPoint slide, but go ahead and join. All right, and for my virtual listeners out there, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys for a second. On the breakout room, I have included page 4 for you guys, and I did that so that you guys would have your own page, and you guys have a little bit of different directions. I'm going to go ahead and share, again, my PowerPoint slide for you. So page 4 is going to be for virtual students. I want you to make sure that you are going on to that one. And your directions are different because they are working together, right, in their breakout room right now to mess with the tools, to do the sticky note option, and to answer the case study. But what I want from you guys is you guys might not all be hopping on at the same time. So I did add an option that you can either click and add a new sticky note for the present, or you can add a comment to somebody else's sticky note and what they thought. And then you can just do it that way. So as an example, this is what they are working on now in their breakout room. So their scenario is you teach elementary school and have to switch classes with another teacher. The teacher likes to do 1 lesson in math a day, teacher directed, students do a page for homework, and then move on each day, progressing in the lessons with a test at the end of the week. The test is online, all multiple choice, and I wanted you to create a plan to give the teacher that incorporates each teaching presence that is going to be better to help the students gain a deeper understanding. So this is what they are working on now. And I kind of wanted to go over this before I pull them back, just so that you as a virtual listener can kind of see a different scenario. Obviously, you're going to be able to see what they worked on. So please do not mess with anybody else's work as you are clicking through the pages. And then page 5 is going to have any help that you may need if I am not available right away and you are struggling with the Jamboard as a virtual listener. I'm going to go ahead and check in with them really quickly. Welcome back. Welcome. While you guys were in there, I was talking to our virtual listeners. They had a separate page that you guys were working on that they had to go through, so I was giving them their directions. So before I talk about what you guys actually did, thoughts on Jamboard, if anybody would feel free to raise their hand or unmute yourself to kind of share out what your thoughts were. Go ahead, Marilyn.
Oh, so I of course misread the directions initially because I'm a really fast reader, but Chuck pointed out that we have to give the teacher incorporating each teaching presence. So the scenario to change a one lesson to one test at the end of the week, we thought A, for teaching presence, design direct facilitation to lead the students. And then for social, we would add a Jamboard with questions so the students can work together. And for cognitive, we would relate previous concepts to deepen the understanding. So we would have more than one concept and kind of build on our concepts.
Very good. So I actually have what you guys did. And I have added it to I could just share the Jamboard again, but I actually added it to my PowerPoint slide. So that was one of the cool things that I like about Jamboard as well, is that I can basically take a screenshot of what you guys have done and save it as an image. And then I just easily added it to my PowerPoint slide. So I thought that was cool. So thank you for sharing what you guys did. And I wanted to point out that this was a cool little trick that I did. Instead of just having to switch back and forth between presentations, I just did this instead. So thank you guys for participating in that. I'm glad you like the Jamboard, Shay. It is very easy to use, and it kind of takes out all of the squinting problems and the moving things around on a very tiny screen. At least that's how I feel. So I'm glad that you feel the same way. So in summary, I hope that you learned a little bit about the Community of Inquiry Framework and how to help frame your learning, whether you're a teacher or not, to help deepen understanding with those that you are going to work with. And so now you're going to have to go on and answer a few questions posted to our classroom to show that you yourselves have developed understanding and mastered the learning objective, because what kind of teacher would I be if I just told you how to teach and then didn't actually follow through with what you should be doing in real life as well? That would just be not very good of me. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or ask any questions along the way. I will stop the sharing now if anybody had any other questions, and then I will stop the recording. Feel free to stick around, though. Thank you all for joining.